Look how nice this game looks when it's raining. So for this video, I'd like to test the armor protection of armored Humvees. I'm using default rifle ammo, 7 and 6 steel core. Okay, it appears everything went through the door. Yeah, all 5 went through the first door and then got stuck some in the vehicle. Now, on first glance, this makes the vehicle look pretty useless. So you might be tempted to just go to the feedback and write feedback how useless the car is. Oh, then I remembered that the game doesn't try to balance, it just throws in some type of item and lets the players figure out the realism, how it fits into the game ecosystem. Because I think that in real life, if a car gets a certain amount of armor protection, it will always eventually get outperformed by the weapons used against it. So then I devised a second test. I took armored Humvee over there and I opened the door so I have a good shooting target at it. I'm trying to hit the door from here. It's probably 200 meters. Okay, those are the impacts. Oh, and it appears the bullet gets stopped by the door. And that's about, I think, almost 200 meters. Now let's move the character a bit closer. This is about 30 to 40 meters. And it still got stopped. So it appears that if you're 30-40 meters away, the armored door will actually stop bullets from a rifleman kit. Now let's repeat the test with a PKM machine gun. Okay, so I'm using default ammo, nothing special here. It's about 200 meters. Okay, so the PKM gets through the door even at 200 meters. So that means that this Humvee will keep you safe against rifleman kits at pretty close distances. But even at 200 meters, a regular PKM will get through the door. So now for this next test, I parked the Humvee at about, I think it's a 45-degree angle. I'm going to shoot at the side of the car. Okay, this one went through. And this one also went through. So even at relatively, is it called oblique angle or the opposite of oblique? Not sure what the correct term is in English. Was it shallow or oblique? The Humvee is relatively thinly armored against the PKM. Now for this next test, I'm going to shoot at the armored glass of the Humvee, see if something gets through. And the view at a different angle. The glass is relatively heavily armored, you can see here. I think it stopped the bullet, nothing went out to the back. And the same here. Now let's try the same with the PKM. It takes, I think, a minute or so for the impact decals to disappear. I'm going to try something up close with the Humvee. Got a PKM. It won't stop a PKM round up close. Oh, it will stop a rifle bullet up close, which means the glass has better armor than the armor plating, at least the front glass. Let's try the side glass. Okay, now let's go back to the front glass test at a distance. It appears the bullets got through from the PKM, and at a different angle. You know, this is interesting. If you shoot the PKM at a different angle than the frontal angle, it actually might stop a bullet at about 200 meters. Okay, now I'm going to load this vehicle up with test targets and see how they do. Okay, so the driver got hit. This guy took a small amount of damage. This guy got grazed in the helmet, but I think this game doesn't currently have like grazing decals. It only has like impact decals. This guy took a small amount of damage, and this guy got killed on. However, I still aimed over the whole vehicle. And notice here, what's interesting is that the engine block can take a huge amount of punishment before it lets through bullets. So the engine block itself is a lot of armor. Now the problem is your vehicle will end up with a dead engine eventually if it gets shot at, but it will protect the passengers inside. And the other thing you notice here, it's a pretty wide and spacious vehicle. So if you just randomly shoot at it, it might happen that you hit a lot of empty space in between the characters. So I think overall, the vehicle is much more useful than players may think at first. So it's a great vehicle. Let's say you want to drive from A to B, and you get ambushed by enemy squad with like rifles and a PKM. The PKM is dangerous, but the normal rifles will probably have difficulty hitting you. And unless you're getting really close, if you're like 50 meters away and you're driving past them, you have a really high chance of getting out alive. If they have a PKM, it's a bit different. But it's a lot better than just having a normal Humvee. So I think the extra price you pay for it in conflict is worth it.